We're also a state that's been very strong on post-secondary education. Right now, our public higher education system's ranked #1 in the country by U.S. News and World Report. One of the reasons that's true is because we are the most affordable higher education system in the country. Since I've been governor, there have been no tuition increases at our state universities. And so you can go as an in-state resident, you can go to University of Florida, Florida State, all these schools, averages about $6,300 for tuition for a year. There's not very many places around this country where you could do that. We also offer Bright Future scholarships, which will pay for either all or most of that tuition for a pretty significant number of our students. And so our view is we don't want to just see universities escalate tuition. They make their administrative staff gets bloated. They fund more bureaucracy and all these other things. It's not impacting the quality of the education. And you see it in these private universities where they've done all this. All these students that they're talking about in debt, why aren't the universities on the hook for this? They have made a fortune off these loans. And Biden has this proposal, which is not constitutional because he's unilaterally putting almost $1 trillion of liability on taxpayers without congressional authorization. But if you think about it, there's no reform to higher education at all offered this. It's just basically like, hey, if you have debt, taxpayer will pick it up. I think it's $6,000 per taxpayer is what the liability would be. Those who work to pay their loans off, well, you're not going to get a mulligan on that. You're just going to have done it. So the colleges, they raise tuition. They have the loans that people can take out more and more. And if you're producing students going $100,000+ in debt and they can't find gainful employment to be able to pay those debts off, then you are doing something wrong and you should be held accountable. We've also made reforms to our universities in terms of tenured professors. And so I signed legislation this year that will require all tenured professors to undergo review every 5 years, and they will be able to be let go if they're not performing. And while we're proud of our universities and we're proud that it's affordable, we've also been very clear since I've been governor that a 4-year degree from a traditional university is not the only way you can succeed in life. And in fact, it's not always the best route for people to try to succeed in life. So we've embraced workforce education. Our goal when I became governor was to take us from the bottom half of states to become #1 in workforce education by the year 2030. We're on our way to doing that. We've expanded the number of apprenticeships that are offered throughout the state of Florida, and our high school students oftentimes can get a credential where they're certified in a lot of these high-demand fields, and they have job offers right out of high school. And if you look at what we've done with our state colleges, we've expanded opportunities there for things like truck drivers or people like diesel mechanics to fix the trucks. You look at all the supply chain problems you've had. Part of it is you don't have enough people to be able to fill these spots that are willing to do it. So we're making sure that we're standing up there. And the result is a lot of these students are going to go through no debt, and many of them will be making 6 figures within just a couple years. The truck drivers are making that immediately once they go. So let's just look to see where the opportunities are. And you're not any worse than anybody else because you didn't get a 4-year degree. In fact, think of all the people that had 4-year degree in zombie studies with $100,000 in debt, and then they end up in a job they could have at a high school. You compare someone that goes into electrical, they're making 75, 80 grand, then they're making 100 grand, then they start their own business in their mid-20s and they start making, really significant income. Those are good pathways. And we're not telling you have to do one or the other, but what we don't want to do is try to shoehorn every single student that comes through our school system into traditional 4-year universities. They need to know there's a variety of paths you can go and find what's best for you and then pursue your dreams. And what we'll actually have is we'll have high school students that are pursuing both. They will take AP courses, but then they'll also get a certification in welding so they can see and enjoy those opportunities.